Hi guys, hope you're all well. Yeah, I've managed to get the engines rebuilt on a Gigger Grusher today. It's pouring rain here, so I thought myself I'll get the engines rebuilt. I'd like to say thanks to County Bearings for getting the bearings out to me. It had like an open bearing in the rear, which was like that. These are the rusty ones. So that's what I ordered. But in the front, it had like shielded ones. And they can leak. So what I did, I ordered rubber sealed ones. I took the seal out the back of it, so you can still get the two-stroke oil in there, or the nitro fuel with the oil. But hopefully with a rubber seal on the outside, shouldn't leak. Also, I put a little bit of silicone around the back of that when you push that on. They tend to leak from there. There's a story I'll tell you in a minute about these two pull starts. They're not all what they seem. Yeah, they've cleaned up quite nice. The casings are almost like new. People are always asking me what I use to clean the casings with, and it's no big secret. I don't use like aqua blasting or bead blast or anything like that, because the media, any little bit of media that gets stuck in those anywhere in a screw hole or whatever, and as soon as you run it, it'll come out and it'll go up your piston liner, and again it will just kill the piston liner, cost you loads of money, grief, lots of grief. So I use a kind of old-fashioned way. This is what I use. There's no secret. It's like sift cream and washing up liquid. It used to be called Jif, didn't it? Hobright works well, but can't seem to get any of that at the moment. So this is what I use. And what I do first of all is I use like washing up liquid, a toothbrush. Well, it was once. And now it looks like a bit like my hair. But anyway, that's done a fair bit of work. They're only cheap as chips. I think you get them like £1 for a packet of toothbrush. I've gone through a lot. But just use the washing up liquid first, get all the grease off it, and I use like a little modelling knife and stuff like that. Then after you've done that, you go on with this, because it's a little bit abrasive, and it works really well, and it'll bring the coaches up like new. You have to spend some time on it. It's not an easy job. You're at the kitchen sink for a long while. But yeah, it brings them up like that, and there's no chemicals and nothing like that on it, And what I do with the knurling, I've returned the flywheel, and the knurling I just use like a wire brush in the lathe, and I just clean them up. Clutches out, all in it okay, a little bit worn, not too bad. Bearings are fine. Yeah, bearings went easy. I just heated the case up, just dropped them in with a crankshaft. It's easy peasy. No hammering, bashing or anything like that. You haven't got to do any of that. So that's where we are with the engines. They're kind of like, ready to go in. Well, I haven't done the carburetors up yet, because obviously they've got to be moved around a little bit. The other thing I mentioned in the other video was about the Loctites. Now, if you use this Loctite, it's really awkward to undo it again. It's great at what it does. If you want something you don't want it to move, it's great. But when you want to try and undo it, it's absolute nightmare. You have to really get some heat on it to get it undone. I've had some really bad, like bad experiences with this glue, and people use them on 2mm screws and stuff like that. So if you can get away with not using that, just use a mild sort of Loctite like this blue one, which will lock stuff up fine, and I've never really had a problem with it. I've never had to go into the red one unless something just kept coming out and there was no alternative apart from use that. So, be careful with that. I rebuilt the engine. It's only a little bit of MX9 oil, it's fully synthetic, fantastic oil. Just a little drop in that. And the engines have got like really, mega compression, both of them absolutely perfect. So there's nothing wrong with those engines whatsoever. These are the exhausts. I'm not sure, they're not really a tune pipe because they haven't got a cone down the middle, I suppose I could make my own tune pipe. I used to make them. I don't know, but it's only another cone in there, like a resonator to go through. But they fit together. Like it's quite a nice way they fit together. You've got like an O-ring that goes in there like that, and then you've got a ring that goes over the other side. What have we got in there? We've got a ring that goes over the other side. You can see that, and that goes down there and clamps that, down onto the O-ring. Now, to connect them up to the manifold, put one in here somewhere. Right. To connect this up to the manifold, this is what we used back in the day. It's clear silicone. I mean, nothing. It done the job, but you can see it gets like really burnt and it just looks horrible. So now you can get these things. I'm sure everyone's seen them. They're silicone, look much nicer. They've got a really nice little groove in them, so you can get the tie wrap on nice. And look, that looks a lot better than, that horrible stuff. And this is in my in tray, one of the few bits I've got left to clean up. But that'll go in there, and it looks so much nicer. This will be polished up, so it'd look really nice. But I'd like to say thanks to Reg at Blacksmith Products. I've been using that guy on eBay for years and years, and he's such a nice guy. He gets stuff out to you, or if he hasn't got it, he'll get it in for you in a couple of weeks. He's like an absolute diamond bloke, and he's helped me out so much in the past. So I'll put that back in the bag in case I lose it, because I lose everything these days. We put it back in the box. Oops. Okay, now this was a bit of a saga. Yeah, this is the QRC, is it? Or I'll get caught in it. But anyway, this is the forward and reverse gearbox. So it's a massive thing. It's absolutely massive, and God knows how much it weighs. But the gears in it are like monster metal gears. It's got a really large bearing in the front. I mean, it's kind of overkill so much, I know this engine, it's got a bit of power, but, well, I don't know. But anyway, the problem I had with it was this shift lever, which does forward and reverse, wasn't going in and out. And I thought, I don't get that. So I thought, well, I better take it apart and find out what's going on. So I took it all apart, and I discovered, I don't know if you can see, just, if I pull that out, just in there's a little groove, and someone had put an E-clip in there. So you couldn't push that in, and you couldn't pull it out. It was just like locked there with an E-clip. So that was a problem, and strangely enough, when I got inside the box, the selector, which goes up and down, and it moves like two big plastic gears over, and then you've got an idler which does the reverse. As soon as I looked at that, there was an E-clip missing. So someone had rebuilt the gearbox and forgot to put the E-clip on the selector rod, so it wasn't doing anything anyway, and then put it, for some reason, on the end of this shaft, so it wouldn't go in and out. So this truck was just locked in forward only. Don't know why. I mean, if you've got reverse there, I mean, this has got like forward, reverse and neutral. I mean, if you push that right in, if I turn, you can see the output shaft going that way. Where are we? Right, it goes that way. And if you push it in, after a bit, it goes the other way. So it's quite a clever type of thing. But you can, it's really, it'd be nice when you've got like reverse on it as well. But it takes a little while for it to engage, but it works fine. My brake pads are worn out to nothing, and the brake discs as well, completely shot. Got twin discs and you've got 3 pads. Now, Anthony, Kyosho Spares on eBay, is getting some stuff out to me, and he said like he can't understand why they've got no pad material. On the later cars, on the brake pads here, they've got like a friction material that actually, you know, stops it being metal to metal. So I think he's found one of them. So I'm going to get the new pads, friction material, and the new discs as well. So at least I've got some brakes. So when I've wound this spring off, because I mean I still can't turn a slipper. God knows, it's, you know, I mean the size of it and the size of the spring. So I've backed it right off. So I'll have to have a little play of that when it's running. So that was a gearbox, bit of a saga, nothing too much. I've been cleaning up all the plastic wishbones, like you can see there. You know, they've come up almost like new. I use a nylon brush for that. I've got like a nylon brush which I've had for ages, and it polishes up plastic lovely. Because when you use like a detergent, it actually everything comes out like matte black afterwards, and it doesn't look that nice. I mean, this is how they look when they were new. Excuse me. So that, you know, that's how I've got the stuff on. I just use a brush, wire brush on it, not wire brush, a nylon brush. It's really stiff kind of thing, and you just use that on it, and that'll polish it up, you know, lovely. Same with all these, such chunky, like, you know, beautiful, just lovely things the way they made the mouldings, but so solid. I don't think you could ever break this truck, you know. Saying that, you know. I've got the air cleaner, which is cleaned up nice. I'm just waiting for some pads for some air filters to go inside the foams. Again, all this plastic stuff I put in another box. I'm out of space now. This is kind of one of my favourite things here now. This is the 3-speed gearbox. Now, this is a lovely bit of kit. You know, 3 speeds, you know, it's the way to go. I've had it all apart, and it all looks good apart from this third gear here. It's got like inside, there's a little raised bit, and there's a little metal pin in it. And what you got on the cam, the gear cam change, you have got like a little pull that flies out. And it's got a little spring and ball on it, so it's spring loaded. So the faster the engine spins, or these spin, this little pull comes out, engages on the little drive dog on the gear, which is reinforced with a metal pin, and that changes the gear. You know, you think how many times that goes bang in and out, in and out, in and out. Well, what it's done is kind of like bypassed the pin, and it's gone halfway around the gear. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the gear, but it's a drive dog inside, and so it'll probably not go into third gear, or it'll keep jumping in and out. That's what they do after a while. But again, Kyosho spares man, Anthony, has said he's got one of these, so that's all taken care of. The rest of it is perfect. Bearings. They've got like bronze bearings in there, which I'm not a fan of, so I might change them to ball races. It's not a big deal. Yep, and to change the sort of gears, you got a lot of shift point on these. As I was telling you about a little pull, spring loaded, you can adjust the tension of that screw, of that spring by, you got a little grub screw in there, and you can adjust the tension on the spring. So obviously the tighter it is, the gear changes later, and the looser it is, it'll change gear early. So that's another thing you do when you go out. I think you just take this bit off the back here, and you can slide this back, and you can get to all the 2 gear change cams in there. So not too bad. Everything else in that looks perfect. Now they kind of sit in, I'm not going to get this right, am I? Yeah, that's the front. So these, that sits in there like that, which is like really nice. And then you've got kind of your 2 engines that sit each side of that. So you're going to have like these 2, they're going to go in there like that. I mean, what a setup that is, eh? And then you've got that great chunk of a forward and reverse gearbox, you know, at the back. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. Let's just push that back a little bit so you can see it. Right, yeah. So that's the way that's going to work. So that's, you know, a nice little setup. You've got like a little cover that goes on the top, so, you know, that'll fit on there, that'll go in there. So you know, a wonderful thing. I've just realised I've got the engines round back to front. So anyway, if you want to be fussy, let's do it properly. That one goes in there. This one goes in there. You've got your pull starts on the right side, and you've got your little cover that goes in there. And then you've got the bit for the carburetors, which go bink, 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 hopefully. And you've got to try and get them two engines running the same. So, you know, quite interesting. I've got a little bit of something broken there. Anyway, not a big deal. So let's put these engines over one side again. Not had any problems with that, like I say. It all fits together lovely. You know, keeps the dirt up. Okay, what have we got now? Let's put these bits away, like I said, in that box. The gearbox and go away. Now I haven't mentioned the diffs. I actually sort of forgot about them, to be honest with you. But I've had them all apart, and absolutely nothing wrong with them. I mean, they're not slotted or anything like that. The gears look perfect. The metal gears, I took the diffs apart because hardly any grease in them. They only got like 2 bevel gear in there. I suppose you could put a 3 in there for a bit more strength, but it all looks like it's hardly ever, you know, done much work. Bearings are all fine. Yeah, not a problem with there. I just re-greased. The bevel gear was kind of like very dry, and there was hardly any oil. I didn't know whether I could put like silicone oil in those diffs. They have got like a seal in them, but when I have like a seal, they normally have like a thin, what do you call it? It's like a thin thrust washer that pushes down on the seal, and that was not. There wasn't one of them in there, so I should imagine the oil would leak out. So we've gone with grease. The rear one exactly the same. Nothing wrong with it. Perfect. So, what have we got now? Oh, this is the underguard. Anthony polished up. That's fine. We've got, these are the side mounts. Where they go? That's right, they go like that. And the radio boxes are in here, so battery on one side, and you've got the receiver on the other side. Like little cases like this. And they go on there like that with a Kyosho logo like that. So that's another lot. We've got the usual body mounts, you know, been ground away a bit here and there. Not as bad as the rear ones. Rear ones, bit of wear on them, you know, obviously been doing wheelies or end over ends or something like that. Maybe I can get one of them, don't know, we'll see. As I said to you, all the plated parts are going to be like a nightmare. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, you know. They're actually like, it happens to all of them, doesn't it? They just, you know, maybe like I said to you before, like epoxy paint, you know, 2-pack. Otherwise a slight bit of fuel in there and it just take it all off, you know. It's probably what's done the plating off of them. Now this is the old trusty steering servo saver and whatnot. This was not in bad shape, you know, greasy and oily, but this was damaged and it was screwed right down. This is an adjustable servo saver, so the tighter you screw that down, the less kind of servo. So what it does, look, if you see it springs like that. So you see that springing, that's what saves your servo gears. You know, today's servos are pretty like tough. And my boy races buggies big time. My other boys fronties and minis, and they do away with servo sabers. I can't believe it because they say like it don't steer as good, so they just drive straight off the servo. And with today's servos, they seem to about take it. But with my driving, I think I'll keep with a servo saver on there and have it quite loose to start with. I mean, they're great big wheels, so they're probably going to move, you know. But I think it's going to be okay. Not a big deal. Let's put that in this other box. This is another linkage. I believe this one does the throttle. Yeah, and it, like spring loaded like that. So that gives you, probably it'll come right over it when you put the brake on and stuff like that. All looks fine, nothing wrong. I'm trying to get some more of these red high-tech servo horns. I've got a few of them, but they've been drilled out and messed about with. So I'm going to have a look on eBay later tonight and see if I can find some good red sort of high-tech servo horns. So that's that. We've got all the other bits of plastic, you know, some roof panels. We've got the other side that goes with that. More plastic. They're the little tubes that go on from the carburetors to the air filters. I love that setup. This is the little stinger that goes on the end. I've got one of them missing, but Anthony's going to send it to me with the rest of my parts. We've got another casing. That's an inner casing for hold the where are you? The batteries in, or your receiver, whatever side you want to put them in. Servo plates, you know, servo mounts, all cleaned up nice. Okay. Now, these are the servos. You know, back in the day, a good upgrade, because I should imagine the standard servos on here must have been really pants. Got a little bit of a problem with a wire I've got to sort out somewhere. It looks like it's frayed through there. So I'm going to have to chop the wire and redo it. But, you know, good servo back in the day. Very strong, metal geared. That'd be ideal for the steering. We've got one plastic geared one, which I believe that's probably for the throttle. It probably worked out okay. So that'll be fine. And I think we've got one more. Right. And this is one more for the brake and the gear change. That's quite a powerful servo, the same as the steering one. So that, you know, should do the job fine. I mean, you know, you've got to anchor up this truck. God knows what it weighs, but, you know, when it's going along there at 35, 40 mile an hour and you want to stop it, you need a servo like this. Okay, more servo mounts. Part of the exhaust. This is another little part where the stinger fits on. The old tie wraps hold that on. Got another little bit there, I believe that's for the gear change. Not sure where it goes, I've not really, I just cleaned it up. I might see if I can get another one of them red servo savers. Yeah, that's kind of about that in there. We've got the aftermarket, these are the braces that go over the roof. They've cleaned up alright. They're nice bit of duel, I'd imagine, so that's quite strong. A good little upgrade. Now this is a thing I would really like to get hold of, is the bumpers. Yeah, they're in quite a state really. Like, you know, I mean that's what for bumpers, you know, that's what they're for, isn't it, bumpers? And they take a lot of stick, you know. I might go up trying to polish it a little bit and see if I can do something with it, but I would really like another set of them. But, you know, probably, can you imagine how many have been smashed up or, you know, broken, these, and worn like that, you know, so I might have to go with these, but I'm looking. Now these are the top wishbones, you know, sort of funny looking thing, but they're so, look, they're so bendy, you know. This truck is really sort of malleable and strong, you know. It would take a really good bashing, you know. Not that I'm into doing that kind of thing, you know. I'm not a Kevin Talbot. We've got 8 shocks. Not anything really wrong with them. I've cleaned them all up. Another one hiding in this box somewhere. There we go. So, I'm still going to change the oil in these, and I'm going to clean up this knurling a little bit. It needs a little bit of work doing. But I'll give them a good clean up. You know, they work perfectly, but you know. I'll find out what oil's supposed to go in them, and I'll change the oil because it's been hanging around a long while. I've got a problem with one of them. Let's see if I can find it. See, oh, here we go. Now I've got an odd shock bottom on this one, or spring retainer, what you call it. You see the size of that one? Now, they should be like that. You know, that size is quite a lot longer and bigger. I think Tony said he might have one. Hoping he has. But because all these parts, they come on like a spruce and like a tree, you know, and so instead of just buying what you want, you get a load of other bits, you know, that I don't even want. But it's kind of not a good fit in there, so I would like to get one of them. But overall, shocks and the springs are lovely. They've got no, the sort of coating's not peeling off and anything like that. They're not bent, they're not, you know, none of the shocks are bent. That's my heater just come on. I've got more wishbones, you know, come up lovely. More plastics, all clean. Oh, we've got the knuckles here. Like I said to you the other day, there was like a screw missing out the bottom of one of them, and these, you know, they put all that Loctite on the engine to hold that in, but these just need a soft little bit of Loctite to stop them blowing out, because, you know, they do. The screws do come out on these, on every kind of one of Kyosho's vehicles. Normally the screws fall out of these, and you just put a little bit of Loctite on. No big deal. More plastics. These are the front uprights. You know, I mean, they're so big. You know, tough things they are. Like, really overkill this truck. Everything is like overkill. Okay, so that's them bits. Now these are the main side frames. They took a bit of cleaning. All in good condition. Managed to get a bit of a shine back on it, like new plastic. Again, you know, really bendy, and so, you know, I don't think you could ever break one of them. And the way it goes together, you know, I'll show you the alley bits in a minute. But yeah, that's fine. We've got more knuckles and things, all good. I've got new bearings for the back. These are all the drive cups, drive shafts. Cleaned them all up. There's not one bent hinge pin like these normally, you know, get damaged. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just oil blue them, or heat them up and put them in oils just to get that colour back into them. Oh, just dropped something on the floor, never mind. This is the drive shafts, various sizes. I mean, look how many we've got. Got the little short ones, we've got the long ones. Got another long one. That one's a bit grubby, I need to clean. Look at that. Well, done. So that's that. These need a little bit of a clean out. Look, got a little bit of rust left in them, but no wear whatsoever on them. So that's fine. I've got a few of these. These are the alley like roof bars. I'll clean them up. What I've been using is I'm not a fan of polished alley on models really. I like to get it back how it was, although some parts are shiny. So what I've used on here to get like industrial finish is I just use my, I've got an orbital sander, and I use Scotch-Brite pads. Now Scotch-Brite you can get in all kinds of different, you get like a rough, smooth, coarse, whatever. I just bought like a pack of these, and it goes right down, the green is like the coarse, and it goes right down to a fine. They're fantastic for like cleaning up alley and stuff like that. You know, that's what sort of brought them up to the original colour. So we've got them, which I've got to work on. Okay, right, now on to the metal part. Like I said, tanks are fine, you know, don't need to do anything there, they're all as clean as that. Oh, these are the rest of the roof bars which I've cleaned up. Just a industrial type finish. Oh, I've missed a bit on the bottom there, so I've got to do that. But overall, not bad. Well, now these are the little bits. The only bits of damage on the truck I'll show you now is where the, you know, we haven't got any damage in the hinge pins, but this is what the hinge pins go through. Can you see that's like bent, and it's bending of ice and probably a hammer or something like that. Now I can sort them out. I can straighten them right out nice, and then I can repolish them up. A bit of Scotch-Brite on that, that's not bad. Got another one that's kind of a funny shape. You know, but I mean the weight of this truck. These are only like soft alloy. It's a shame really you can't find a nice bit of duel and make some more, you know, because then they'd last you forever. Yeah, so that's the alley parts I've got there. What's this one like? These are clean. That one don't look too bad. Looks like it's not been touched. Yeah, they all look good. I've got a load more plastic parts in there and like the hexagon for the wheels. Let's put these back. Right. Now, this is the bit I kind of a bit of a dilemma with really. Like I said to you before, I'm not a fan of polished alley. You know, I see some people that go to town on it, and when you get like polished alley, all the holes kind of get, you know, divots in them and stuff like that. So you've got like the engine mounts, which is quite a strange thing. Let's just move the camera down a little bit. Okay, we've got like these engine mounts. We've got like a thin one, two like thin shims, and then we've got like a thicker one. And these two go together like that. So it just gives you, I don't know whether it's an afterthought by Kyosho or whether it was for different types of engines that go in there. But, you know, a bit strange. Why couldn't they make like one of these the right thickness to start with? But there you go. So you can see the finish I've got on there. These are really mullered and like in the right state. Again, what I've used is a fine Scotch-Brite pad on my orbital sander to get that industrial finish. You know, I don't really want it polished. I just want it to look clean and, you know, how it was. Now, again, these were kind of, this is what the gearboxes go on. They were in quite a state, you know, but again, I've got them nice and flat. Just orbital sander, they look nice when they're all together. This is the rear one, nothing really wrong with that. It took a long while, you know, to get that kind of finish on there, but well, it looks okay. Now, the main chassis was where I was a bit stuck. Because it was, if you can see it, it kind of was a bit shiny. It's a bit like the, yeah, I've not touched these, but you see that they have got like a bit of a shine on them, but not kind of polished up, you know. And the trouble is with these, they've got these little, like, they're not, well, they are nuts. They've got these little threaded inserts in here, which means I can't sort of go over it with my sander, you know, to get that nice sort of finish. So it's going to be a bit of a pain to do that, you know. I mean, I want to get that looking nice. But I had the same problem on the chassis, because the top of the chassis I've just done with a Scotch-Brite pad, you know. And the thing is, as well, I've got these here, which you can see are trouble to get round, and the bottom of the chassis was like quite bad. So, you know, begrudgingly, I've kind of sort of just give it a light polish, just to try and make it look like, you know, it was, but still not really happy with that. But again, I've got these things here which are just in the way of trying to get a uniform kind of finish. But, you know, a lot of that's covered in the bottom of the truck and you don't see it, but I'm still not happy that, you know, you can't get this kind of, this finish here like you see there, which has got like a grain in it. You know, when they're stamped out at the factory, they've got that lovely finish to them, and you just can't get that back. You know, you either do what a lot of people do and polish the crap out of them, and honestly, they just look, you know, around all these holes, they'd be like all deep, and all these would look horrible, and when the light shines on it, it all looks wavy-davy. Just, you know, I wouldn't do it, you know. I've had to do it on this, and even you can see slightly there, sort of, this is just doing it by hand, just gentle polish by hand, and you start getting these like sort of countersinks around the holes, and I just hate that. But I think a lot of this underneath is kind of covered in once you get the gearboxes in it and all that kind of thing. And you know, when you think how strong this is, if I just show you, we've got those side braces, and if you look at these side braces, they've got the slots in like that, and those tags there, they go like into the slots like that, so they will go into them slots like that. Can you imagine how rigid that is? You know, so you've got a chassis, there's braces and God knows what else on there that go across this way as well, you know, underneath, so it's going to be like so strong, you know. Nice, you know. I'm really looking forward to putting it together, but I need to get some more bits first. So anyway guys, that's where we are with the state of play at the moment. Engines are done, most of the stuff's cleaned up. Kind of, I'm still not sure what to do with the finish of these, you know. It's cast, I don't think I can really polish them up, it might look bad. You know, they're only rough cast and they're in the brand sort of by hand, but I don't know, I mean they're a big feature of the model, you know. And I would like, I said to you before that, you know, there's a guy who actually left the back of the body clear and painted them red, which they look quite effective. So, you know, I'm not sure what you can do with them, but whatever you paint them in, it's got to be sort of something bulletproof, like again another epoxy resin or something like that, you know. But yeah, that's where we are with that, and hopefully it won't be too long now before I start getting bits, you know, back together. I've been going through all the screws. These are all the screws because I like to keep the original one, and believe it or not, I've kind of cleaned every one of them up. You know, they're not, I'll see if I can zoom in on that, but you can, you know, I mean, that is like new. And I've got a lot of them like that, but obviously some of them have been scratched on the floor and, you know, whatnot. But, you know, we've got like a little bit wear on the hinge pins, but nothing kind of, they're only just worn off the blacking material. But believe it or not, I went through every one of them, and I've found probably about 10 that, you know, are not good, and the others I can get away with and they still look nice. So that's where we are, guys. Hopefully next time I might have a bit of a build on it. The wheels and tyres, I've got like one wheel at the moment, and one tyre should I say. I think I showed it to you, it's sort of squashed. It's been sitting there for years with something on it, and it's deformed the tyre really badly. And no matter what I seem to do, I can't get it sort of straight, or, well, what's I say, round again. It just keeps wanting to go to where that flat is, so I might try some hot water. I'll put like normal hot water on it. I don't know whether boiling water might bring it out, but I still need to find out about the foams. I've got I've got Tony looking into it. Hopefully he's going to find the foams for me for the wheels and tyres, and we can go from there. So anyway guys, better sign off, and I'll see you in the next one.